Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gaffer and Gear. This episode is by request. So in this episode we're going to go through the Arri Skypanel Gels Mode. So in this video I'll show you how to get into the Gels mode, how to get into your gels library, how to select a gel, how to save a gel, how to recall a gel, and how to use the advanced color mode to modify your gels. Okay, now to get into Gels mode, in the top right hand corner you have a mode button, and on the screen next to the mode button is displayed what current mode it is set to. So at the moment this is set to CCT mode. So you just press that mode button until you see the word gel appear. Okay, now we're in what I'll call our home page in the Gels menu. Now this is where people get lost at this point. They get to this menu and then can't figure out how to select a gel. So I'll explain that a little bit later on. The reason you can't find a gel is there's actually two menu pages. So before we get into that, let's go through what is currently displayed here. So in the top left hand corner we have a letter followed by digits. So the first letter is either an R or an L. So R is for Roscoe, L is for Lee, which are your two brands of gels that this thing has stored in it. And the corresponding numbers after that are actually the gel number. So those gel numbers are what would appear in your swatch book, for example. So those numbers there. So that's what's going on there. So that's actually telling you what gel is currently set. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the menu. So your blue button here selects your brightness. So we'll just dial that up. Okay, so that's your intensity or brightness, pretty straightforward. Now the other knobs, the white knobs, on the screen directly above those will be squares, and in those squares appears what is changing or what your parameters are with that knob. So this knob here selects whether the light is 3200 Kelvin base or a 5600 Kelvin base. Now it's worth pointing out here, in case you're watching this video in the future, this Skypanel has the latest firmware in it, which at this point in time is 4.1. And in version 4.1 we can only hard switch between our base color. Okay, so the next knob across, that selects what we're doing with our gel, whether it's best color, I think the next is brightness, and then after that is no color, basically with the gel turned off. Now, why does it have a no gel selection option? Why does it have a selection where you can remove the gel? Well, what I found is when I'm working in studio, and let's say we're lighting a cyc wall behind us and it's a subtle shade of a color, a subtle gel. After about 3 or 4 hours in studio, your eyes and your brain adjust to that, and your brain turns it white. So to get your color perception back, I found that I'll just turn the gel off, let my eyes and my brain readjust to that, and then switch the gel back in. Now, to select the gel, you need to get into the Gels library, which is on page 2 of the menu system. Now, to toggle between page 1 and page 2 of the menu system, you just press the blue button. Okay, so now we're in the Gels library. If I want to get back to the previous menu, I press the button again. Okay, so this is our Gels library. Now, to select your gel, just scroll up and down with the blue selector knob. Okay, so as you can see there, it's scrolling through the Gels library. Now the other two knobs, the two white knobs, also give you selections. So the sensor knob selects what brand of gel that we're emulating. So at the moment it's set to Roscoe. If I flick it across, it'll go to Lee. Okay, and the last knob selects what series of gel it is or what category of gel it is. So at the moment we're in Lee brand gel and we're in color correction. So that's your CTO, CTBs. Next is your color gels, so they're all your effects sort of colors. And the next one across, I think, is cosmetic. So just swing across, no, 600 series, I forgot about that, and cosmetic, and 700 series. Now all up there's about 380 plus gels in the Skypanel. Now that sounds like a lot, but you've got to remember there's Lee and Roscoe, so a lot are doubled up. Okay. Now to select the gel that you want, just scroll down, okay, and that's pretty much it. Now if you want to adjust brightness, let's get to say dark amber, that's a nice one, or actually gold tint, let's go gold tint. Now if I want to adjust our brightness levels, I have to go back to the previous menu, so I just press the blue button, and now I can adjust my brightness levels. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Okay, now as you can see up here in the top corner, it says L21. So that's Lee brand gel and gel number 21. So let's just check that, go back. So yep, Lee brand 21 is gold amber. Now here's the thing to note with the Skypanels. The gels are in numerical order. Okay, so basically they're in the numerical order that they appear in the swatch books if you've got the numerical editions. So as you can see here, this is gel 21, which is gold amber, and gel 21 here is gold amber, so they actually match. So here's the problem with numerical order. It makes a lot of sense if you're OCD or something like that, but yeah, if you're trying to find specific colors, it's very random. So what I suggest, if I've got a DP and that DP wants a specific color, golds, ambers, blues, whatever, I'll lend them a swatch book if I know them, and I'll get them to go through swatch books and pick about 5 or 6 gels. Okay, and then what I'll do is check that those gels exist and then save them into the Skypanel prior to getting onto set so that we can find the gels fast. Okay, so I mentioned something in there. Check if the gels exist. So the Skypanels have 380 plus gels in them. It sounds like a lot, but if you have a look at just how many gels are in this one swatch book, and then have a look at all the different types of gels there are and the fact there's 2 brands, there's a heck of a lot more than 380 gels. So not all gels appear. So let's have a look here through the Lee color range as an example. So go gel 2, gel 3, gel 4, gel 7. So there's gels missing in there. So there are 2 reasons gels might be missing. Number 1, they can't render the color of the gel, so they just skip it. Number 2, that gel might be appearing somewhere else in a different selection. So for example, Cosmetic Peach won't be under color filter, it'll be under the Cosmetics series. Okay, so it may be in a different part of the menu system, or it might not be there at all. So that's why I get people to select 5 or 6 gels prior to getting to the set so I can see if those actually exist, because trying to find a gel randomly like this is quite painful. Okay, so I mentioned they're saving a gel. Okay, so how do you save a gel? Well, let's say we want to save, oh, this is a pretty ugly gel. Let's get a better one than this. Let's go dark amber. Let's say we want to save that gel. Okay, so in the bottom here, we've got preset menus. So with the preset, if you press it, it goes to the load menu. If you hold it down, it goes to the save menu. So I want to save this. So what I do is I hold it down, and nothing really happened there. Let's try that again. Hold it down and save menu. So now I can select my slot. Okay, so I've got 10 slots I can save to. So I would basically scroll up and down and then press the button of the slot I want to save to, and that's now saved. So the thing I like about the Skypanels is it actually gives you information as to what's there. So you can see it's a gel, it's a Lee brand, and gel number 22 set to 5,600 degrees Kelvin. So it actually gives you some information, which is better than a lot of other brands. A lot of other brands don't have any info. Now let's exit that, press preset again. Now if I want to recall it, let's say I select another gel. So I select another gel and I want to recall that one I just saved. I just lightly press the button. So I don't hold it down, just press it. There we go, then select the gel I want to load, and there we are. Now here's the thing to note when you're saving gels into the Skypanel. The Skypanel saves everything except the brightness value, so that's a little bit irritating. So brightness value is not saved. Now before we move on here, just something I forgot to mention is up in the top corner here, it's saying it's in gel mode, but as you can see, it's flashing P01. So that's preset 01, okay? So what that's telling us is that it's currently outputting a value that we had saved in a preset, okay? So this is the value that we saved to preset 1 is currently what's being emulated by the light. Okay, so now let's say we want to tinker with the gel, okay? So we want to change its saturation or tweak the coloring a little bit. So this is something a lot of people don't know about with the Skypanels. Okay, so you've got the mode button. So with the mode button, if you hold it down, the light goes into its advanced color mode. So just hold it down into place, and there we go. So now we've got a whole stack of sliders, we can adjust a whole stack of things. So to select your slider, it's the knob on the end here does the selection. Okay, so we've got at the very start at this end, we've got warmer and cooler. So I got super excited about this when it came into the firmware because we can't adjust our color temperature apart from doing a hard switch between 3200 and 5600. So I got really excited that we could adjust warmer cooler. But here's the problem. This is what an engineer would call warmer and cooler. So basically it's you've got your XY coordinate values. It's basically moving along the horizontal value. Okay, so one end is red, the other end is blue. Whereas if you're a cinematographer or a gaffer, when someone says warmer, cooler, you think in terms of Kelvin. So like, you know, the warmer goes into ambers. It doesn't go into reds. So if you're not following what I mean, let's adjust our warmer, cooler. Basically, the blue knob changes your values. So let's adjust the warmer, cooler to full warmth. And as you can see, it actually goes red. So if you're an engineer, that makes a lot of sense, but if you're someone, you know, who actually works on set, it doesn't make any sense at all. So that's the disconnect we currently have between ourselves and engineers. So we've got people designing lights who have never been on set, and this is the problems that we face. So we have to bridge that gap. We have to sort of meet them halfway and start explaining what we want. Okay, so the warmer cooler, apart from going to full red and to full blue at both ends, here's the problem. Because it's not curving with the Planckian curve or with CCT values, it also leaves the Planckian curve. So it'll start going slightly pink or slightly green. So look, warmer cooler is okay for fine tuning adjustment, but I wouldn't try to really warm up a scene with it. It just doesn't work. It's actually a bit of a waste of menu space, to be quite honest with you. The next one across, so I'll just select across now, is the most handiest thing on this thing, saturation and desaturation. Okay, so now I've got that selected. Now you can see when I move my selector, the line underneath moves around. So there we go. Now I can select my saturation, desaturation. So I can remove the gel from our base Kelvin, or I can add it. Now here's the thing, the saturation levels vary from gel to gel because like if you've got a gel that's red and using all the primary emitters, primary red emitters full blast, you can't go past 100%. So it will vary depending on the gel. Now, one thing to note here is if I make any adjustments to any of those values, next to the word gel or next to whatever mode we're in, as soon as I make an adjustment, you see a star appear. So that star is to let you know that you've got advanced color mode settings applied to that gel or to that mode at that point in time. Okay, so let's go along to the next thing. So along next is red. The next one's green, the next one's blue. Then we're onto our secondary colors, cyan, magenta, and yellow. Okay, so you can tweak all of those adjustments. Okay, so just to finish up, a couple of things. If you want to get out of the advanced color mode, you have to hold down the mode button until it disappears. Okay. So that's got you back into your basic gels menu. Now the next thing is if you select another gel, let's go, whatever, doesn't matter, straw tint, let's select that. As you can see by the star here, the advanced color menu settings followed it across, okay? So any changes you make in the advanced color mode will stay in that gels mode until you remove them. Okay, there is a glitch with the advanced color menu in the gels mode. So the chances of you coming across it are pretty remote. But I'll let you know anyway in case you're a gaffer. If you're running multiple Skypanels off master and slave mode, and the master is running off the Skypanel remote via the USB, and you disconnect the USB, 1 in about 4 times you will lose all your advanced color mode settings. Okay, so chances of you coming across this error are pretty remote, but hey, it happened to me. Anyway, I'm Andrew Locke. See you on the next episode of Gaffering Gear.